Fox has obtained new audio from Monday's horrifying discovery of 53 dead migrants in a tractor trailer near San Antonio. You can hear a police officer who arrived at the grisly scene calling for backup.
All we have right now, a Hispanic male, maybe wearing a brown shirt. He was going southbound from that location, either along the railroad tracks or towards the mechanic shop right there nearby on the Laredo Highway.
I have too many bodies here.
Wow. Customs and Border Protection tell Fox exclusively 518 migrants have died at the southern border so far this fiscal year, not including those 53 on Monday. That is way up from last fiscal year's unofficial total of 566 and 247 only in 2020, if you compare the numbers. And those numbers are expected to keep rising after the Supreme Court okayed ending the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy. The New York Post writes this: SCOTUS's Remain in Mexico ruling paves the way for Biden to let every migrant in. And in another opinion piece, Biden has no policy to deter illegal immigration, but the fight isn't over yet. Power panel, Jason Meister, former Trump Advisory Board member, Leslie Marshall, Fox News contributor, join me now. Jason, I want to start with the Trump policies that are no more and the reason why the numbers are the way they are. Okay, Remain in Mexico, Title 42, these were deterrents, if you will. Okay, you erase the deterrents, and what do? You have an open border policy, essentially, and you have a formal invitation for every migrant to come on into the country because we don't really have any laws in place that are going to prevent you from doing so. And in the end, you have 53 deaths on the hands of this administration. The blood is on their hands. Do you agree?
That's right, Julie, 100%. The blood is on their hands. It's tragic and it's horrifying. And it's Joe Biden's inhumane open border policies that created the crisis at the southern border. In 100 days, in his first 100 days in office, he took over 94 executive actions on immigration, including halting construction of the border wall and reversing, as you pointed out, Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, which was very successful. And the result is a humanitarian crisis of biblical proportions. We have over 3.5 million illegal immigrants that have crossed the southern border, 1,101 deadly pounds of drugs, okay? And we have 14,700 unaccompanied children that have crossed the southern border. Americans are witnessing the most tragic invasion of our country. And when Republicans take control in November, they must impeach Biden over this single issue alone.
Okay, Leslie, I'm sure you're going to have plenty to say about that, but would you agree that the border is a mess? And do you think that by eradicating Remain in Mexico and Title 42, do you think that's a good idea? I mean, is that the solution to putting a stop to illegal immigration and deaths and drugs, fentanyl coming over our border? I mean, the list goes on.
Having Title 42, having Remain in Mexico is not going to prevent immigration. Immigration is a multifaceted problem. It needs a comprehensive approach. And here is the approach for people that say, okay, well, give me the answers. Problem, here are the solutions. One, antiquated asylum laws have to be changed. They have to apply for asylum in their home country. No president does that. Congress does that. Both Democrats and Republicans have failed for decades, 2 decades specifically, to have some kind of a compromise and legislation to put that forth. 2, fix DACA. 3, majority of illegal immigrants in this country overstayed their visas. Where is the punishment for the corporations and the businesses that are hiring these individuals if they don't have the jobs? They're not going to overstay the visas and they're going to go home. Building a wall doesn't stop these people from smuggling individuals or drugs. And just think, how bad does something have to be in your home country for you to put your children in the hands of these individuals, hoping for a better life for them? Once again, multifaceted, and Republicans aren't, sorry, Jason, Republicans aren't going to impeach Joe Biden over this.
Leslie, I will say the amnesty program, for example, and Jason, I want you to react to this. Now, the Remain in Mexico, basically, the amnesty program is completely messed up, and I absolutely agree with Leslie that it's got to be fixed. But here's the issue. If you want to apply for amnesty, you need to wait. You need to wait in your country. You do not come into the United States and wait here, because that's only going to add to the load that our Border Patrol agents are already dealing with, and they've already got enough on their hands.
Julie, You're 100% correct. It does have to be fixed. But the truth of the matter is this is actually fairly simple. You have immigrants, migrants that are at the southern border that are, if you ask them, why are you here? They will tell you that they felt that Joe Biden ran on open borders and that they were going to try to cross the border illegally. He messaged it to them from his basement in Delaware throughout the campaign. Trump, they did not try to cross the border when Trump was president because it was safe and secure. He handed Biden one of the most safe, secure borders in American history.
All right. We do not have any more time, unfortunately, but I will say this. The sympathy in my heart goes out to a lot of those Hispanic Americans who are here in this country. They come here to make money, to send to their families. Mothers come here and leave their children behind. Fathers leave their families behind. So obviously the situation that they're in, as Leslie mentioned, is dire. If they're willing to leave their own children behind just to send them money. But there's got to be a way for the administration to marry the two without the illegals coming over, the prevention of the drugs coming over, and then thousands of deaths as a result. That's all the time we have. Jason Meister, Leslie Marshall, thank you very much to you both. Have a great holiday weekend.
Thank you.